115 years after his death, William James is still one of the most influential thinkers in the world. His books are still taught in universities. His ideas shape modern therapy, education, and spirituality. People from all walks of life find hope in his words when life feels empty. Why? Because he didn't just study the mind. He taught us how to live with meaning, courage, and compassion. Tonight, in part 32, the end of chapter 6, you'll discover how his ideas are still changing the world today, why his approach to belief, habit, and experience remains timeless, and the one lesson that will inspire you to live better right now. This is the end of chapter 6. Stay until the end. His final legacy will touch your heart. Concluding reflections on William James's life and work. Page 13 begins to conclude chapter 6 by summarizing the impact of William James's life, his intellectual achievements, and the way his work continues to inspire readers. More than a century after his passing, James's life combined deep thought, human compassion, and practical action, making his legacy both rich and enduring. William James's life was a journey of constant exploration. From his early years in New York to his studies in Europe, his work as a physician, and his long career at Harvard University, James sought to understand human experience from many angles. He did not accept simple answers, but examined questions about the mind, behavior, and consciousness with patience, curiosity, and rigor. His contributions to psychology, philosophy, and the study of religion were groundbreaking, but equally important were the qualities he displayed while pursuing these studies: openness, humility, and respect for others. One of James's most important achievements was his ability to connect intellectual inquiry with everyday life. He believed that ideas are valuable when they have practical consequences, a principle central to his philosophy of pragmatism. Unlike philosophers who focus only on abstract concepts, James encouraged thinking about how ideas influence behavior, beliefs, and human relationships. This practical focus made his work accessible to students, scholars, and general readers alike. It also ensured that his insights could be applied to education, psychology, religion, and social reform. James's work in psychology transformed the study of the mind. His principles of psychology explored consciousness, habit, emotion, attention, and the will in ways that were both scientific and deeply human. He emphasized careful observation and evidence, but he also recognized that human experience cannot be fully captured by experiments alone. His ideas laid the foundation for modern psychology and inspired generations of researchers to examine both the measurable and the subjective aspects of human life. In the field of religious studies, James showed that personal experience is central to understanding faith. His book, The Varieties of Religious Experience, was revolutionary because it treated individual spiritual experiences with seriousness and respect. By documenting experiences from many traditions, he helped scholars see religion not just as doctrine but as a living, personal phenomenon. This approach encouraged tolerance and empathy and remains a key reference for psychologists, philosophers, and theologians today. James's contributions to philosophy were equally influential. He challenged rigid systems of thought and encouraged flexible, open-minded exploration. His emphasis on pluralism, practical consequences, and personal experience influenced not only pragmatism, but also broader debates about truth, knowledge, and ethics. Philosophers and social thinkers alike have drawn on James's work to understand human thought, social responsibility, and the nature of belief. Perhaps the most enduring lesson of James's life is the combination of intellectual courage and human compassion. He faced personal struggles, including depression and physical illness, yet continued to teach, write, and explore the deepest questions of human life. He encouraged others to think independently, face uncertainty, and seek meaning through both study and experience. His humility and empathy made his philosophy more than theory. It became a guide for living a thoughtful and engaged life. James's legacy also demonstrates the power of influence through teaching and mentorship. As a professor at Harvard, he inspired countless students, encouraging them to question, experiment, and trust their own experiences. Many of these students became leaders in philosophy, psychology, and education, carrying forward James's ideas and ensuring that his influence extended far beyond his own lifetime. Letters and memoirs show how deeply students valued his guidance, describing him as both a brilliant scholar and a compassionate mentor. His impact after death illustrates another key lesson: the lasting value of ideas rooted in human experience. In the decades following his passing, his writings continued to be studied, debated, and applied. Scholars published essays analyzing his work. Universities included his texts in curricula, and readers from all walks of life found guidance and inspiration in his thoughts. James's life demonstrates that intellectual work, when combined with honesty, curiosity, and empathy, can shape the world long after a person is gone. James's life also reminds us of the importance of balance. He valued both intellectual effort and personal relationships, showing that the pursuit of knowledge is most meaningful when accompanied by care for others and attention to everyday life. Even in illness and suffering, he maintained connections with family, friends, and students. His ability to combine thought, emotion, and human interaction serves as a model for those seeking a meaningful and productive life. Finally, William James teaches the lesson of humble courage in the face of uncertainty. He faced illness, doubt, and the limits of knowledge with honesty and resilience. He did not claim to have all the answers, but he pursued understanding with determination and integrity. This courage to explore, question, and reflect honestly is perhaps the most enduring example of James's life. In conclusion, William James lived a life dedicated to understanding the human mind, the nature of belief, and the value of personal experience. His intellectual achievements were immense, but his human qualities, curiosity, empathy, humility, and courage made his work meaningful to countless people. His contributions to philosophy, psychology, and religious studies remain foundational, and his practical wisdom continues to guide readers today. This chapter emphasizes that James's life and work are inseparable. His philosophy was shaped by how he lived, and his life exemplified the very principles he taught. As we reflect on William James's final years, his death, and the growth of his influence, it becomes clear that his legacy is enduring. He demonstrated that a thoughtful, compassionate, and courageous approach to life and knowledge leaves a mark that time cannot erase. His example encourages all who study him to pursue understanding, embrace experience, and act with both intellect and heart. The continuing relevance of William James in the modern world. This chapter focuses on how William James's ideas remain relevant today. Over a century after his death, scholars, educators, psychologists, and ordinary readers continue to find wisdom and guidance in his writings. His approach to thought, experience, and human life has proved timeless, offering lessons for navigating the complexities of modern existence. One of the key reasons James's work remains relevant is his emphasis on experience as the foundation of knowledge. In today's world, where technology and information often dominate, his reminder that personal observation and reflection are essential resonates strongly. His insistence on attending to lived experience encourages readers to balance abstract thinking with attention to the concrete realities of life. This principle is applied in education, counseling, leadership, and personal decision-making. James's ideas about pluralism and tolerance continue to influence both academic and social life. In an era of global communication and cultural exchange, his recognition that multiple perspectives can contain truths is especially important. Scholars in philosophy, sociology, religious studies, and political science frequently cite James to support open-minded inquiry and respectful dialogue. His example encourages collaboration, empathy, and understanding across differences, a principle that is essential in a diverse, interconnected world. In psychology, James's work on consciousness, attention, and emotion remains foundational. Modern psychology, neuroscience, and cognitive science often explore topics James first described in Principles of Psychology. His notion of the stream of consciousness, the role of habit in shaping behavior, and the influence of belief on emotion continue to inform research. His approach encourages scientists and therapists to consider not only the measurable aspects of the mind, but also the subjective, lived experiences that give human life meaning. James's study of religious experience is also remarkably relevant. In a world where religious diversity and spiritual inquiry are widespread, his respectful, empathetic approach provides a model for dialogue. He demonstrated that personal belief systems can be studied and understood without dismissing their significance. This approach encourages modern scholars, clergy, and spiritual seekers to examine faith with both intelligence and compassion. Education continues to benefit from James's insights. His belief that students learn best when actively engaged, and his emphasis on cultivating habits of attention, curiosity, and reflection remains central to modern pedagogy. Teachers worldwide draw on his ideas to create interactive classrooms, design curricula that connect theory with practice, and help students develop independent thought. James's vision of education as an active, experience-based process continues to inspire reforms and teaching methods today. James's philosophy also speaks to personal growth and resilience. His insistence on embracing uncertainty, acting responsibly, and cultivating inner resources offers guidance for navigating life's challenges. Whether facing personal dilemmas, career decisions, or moral questions, readers find in James a voice encouraging thoughtful reflection, courage, and self-awareness. His practical wisdom makes philosophy not only an academic pursuit but a guide for daily life. In addition, James's interdisciplinary approach remains a model for modern thinkers. He integrated philosophy, psychology, and religious studies in ways that anticipated contemporary approaches to complex problems. Today, many fields such as cognitive science, ethics, and human development follow a similarly integrative approach. James demonstrated that no single discipline has all the answers and that meaningful understanding often requires drawing connections across fields. James's enduring relevance is also reflected in popular culture and public discourse. Writers, educators, and thinkers frequently reference his ideas about belief, consciousness, and experience. Self-help literature, motivational psychology, and leadership studies often echo his insistence that action and thought are linked, and that meaningful experience requires courage, attention, and reflection. Even outside academia, his insights shape how people approach personal development and human relationships. Another lesson from James that resonates today is the importance of humility and open-minded inquiry. In a modern world filled with competing claims and rapidly changing knowledge, his approach reminds us that uncertainty is not failure. Instead, it is an opportunity for learning, reflection, and growth. His willingness to question assumptions, while respecting human experience, provides a guide for thoughtful engagement with the world. This chapter also highlights the continuing impact of James's ethical and human-centered perspective. He modeled a philosophy in which ideas are inseparable from action, thought from life, and intellect from compassion. Readers today draw inspiration from his example, seeing that true influence comes not only from intellectual achievement, but also from integrity, empathy, and courage. Finally, James's life story itself continues to inspire. His perseverance through illness, his dedication to teaching and writing, and his commitment to exploring difficult questions demonstrate the value of intellectual courage. curiosity, and moral clarity. Students, scholars, and general readers see in his life a model of how to live thoughtfully, ethically, and meaningfully, even in the face of challenges. In summary, William James's work remains vital and applicable more than a century after his death. His insights into human experience, consciousness, belief, and action continue to inform psychology, philosophy, education, religion, and everyday life. Page 14 emphasizes that James's combination of intellectual rigor, human compassion, and practical wisdom ensures that his legacy endures. His teachings encourage readers to live fully, think carefully, and engage deeply with the world. William James's legacy continues to grow, even 115 years later. But his most controversial ideas were still waiting to be discovered. In part 33, starting tomorrow, you'll finally see the unpublished manuscripts that shocked the world, the idea that predicted modern therapy, and the secret that made Einstein call him America's greatest mind. Part 33 drops tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp. Subscribe plus bell on. The journey is just beginning.